Right, hello everybody. So we're still on day 6. This will be third learning target from this particular worksheet, practice problems. And today we will discuss I can solve inequalities. And specifically we will talk about multi-step inequalities and some absolute value inequalities. So just like when we have multi-step equations and we're solving for the variable, we will follow the same steps. One thing that you have to always keep in mind is when you divide or multiply by negative numbers, so this is only for division or multiplication, make sure you always flip the inequality sign, okay? That's rule that it applies to inequalities only, and it's very important one. So let's take a look at the first example. We have 3 plus x over 4. Solving for x, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, so we will have x over 4 is less than 10. Then, to solve for x, we will multiply by 4 each one of the two sides. 4 and 4 will cancel, so x will be less than 40. And that will be the first answer. X less than 40, if I say that's 20 and this one is 40, we will have open circle, x is less, which means all values to the left will be less than, and that will be my graph. Next inequality, we have negative 5j plus 7j greater or equal negative 16. Well, we will do combining like terms because both of those are like terms. Negative 5 plus 7 will give us 2j greater or equal negative 16. Then we will divide by 2. So j is greater or equal negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. Negative 8, maybe we can put negative 6 over here, negative 8 over here. J is greater or equal. This will be closed circle because the equal sign, and all the solutions will be to the right. Awesome. Another example for solving will be something like this when we have variables on both sides of the inequality. So draw a line just like with the equations and combine those. So I will subtract y from both sides, 1y from both sides. Those two cancel. We will have negative 14. 5 minus y, 1y will be plus 4y greater or equal plus 4. So some of you probably are thinking, oh, we subtract y here, don't we need to flip the sign? And the answer is no, because we are subtracting. We are not dividing or multiplying by negative number. So let's keep solving the equation. Plus 14, those two cancel. 4y will be greater or equal 18. 4 plus 14, 18. And when we divide by 4, y will be greater or equal. We can simplify this to 18 divided by 4 actually will be 4.5. We can write it as a decimal number, that is okay. And I'm going to put 4.5 over here on the graph. This will be closed circle. Y is greater than, so any number greater than 4.5 will be solution to my example. Another example that you may see with multi-step inequalities could be something like this. We have negative 22 greater or equal negative inside the parentheses 2x plus 2. Well, quick reminder that we have 1 here. If it's just negative sign, no number in front, it means it's 1. So we will have negative 22 greater or equal, and we will apply distributive property. Negative 1 times 2x will be negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2 will be minus 2. Then, because we're solving for x, I want to get rid of the number that doesn't have variable. So we will do the opposite, plus 2 on each side. Negative 22 plus 2 is negative 20. Greater or equal negative 2x. Now, pay attention to this. We're solving for x, we divide by negative 2. So we divide by negative number, and we're going to flip the sign here, and will become lesser equal. Negative 20 divided by negative 2 is positive 10. Those two cancel, and x will be final answer. So on my graph, if I choose to plot 10 over here, and all values for x with closed circle are greater than, then my graph will go to the right and all the solution will be right in this directions. Very good. So those are steps with solving multi-steps inequalities. Now I want to show you a couple examples with absolute value. The absolute value, we will start with one example where it says absolute value of negative 3x minus 1 greater than 5. So every time you have given absolute value, one thing you have to do is to separate into two sub-inequalities. In your new two inequalities would not have absolute value symbols, or those brackets here will be gone. So the first inequality, you always copy the same what you see over here, but don't write the absolute value symbols. So it will be minus 3x minus 1 greater than 5. That will be the first inequality. Second inequality, we will write down what is inside the absolute value, negative 3x minus 1, and now we will flip the sign from greater to less than, and also we're gonna add negative sign to number 5. So those two things are the only difference when we're solving absolute value inequalities. And we will continue solving. And if you remember, by the way, when we did equations, we had equal sign here and we wrote the negative sign of the number. In this case, we keep doing the same stuff. The only thing is, because it's inequality, we have to flip the inequality sign in order to set up this problem. And we're solving each one of those. So plus 1, those two cancel. Negative 3x greater than 5 plus 1 is 6. We're dividing by negative 3. So again, we're flipping the sign because dividing by negative numbers, so x is less than negative 2 will be the answer for this. And the second inequality will be plus 1, those two cancel, so negative 3x will be less than negative 4. Again, divide by negative 3, flip the sign to greater, and negative 4 over negative 3 will be just 4 over 3. Okay, well, 4 over 3 approximately is 1.33 something. So if we have our graph, I can put negative 2 over here and 1.33 over here. Negative 2 has open circle. All x value will be less than negative 2, which means we'll go in this direction. X greater than 4 over 3 is another open circle, and all solutions for x will go to the right. And with this, my graph will be completed. So the absolute value inequalities, they always have a combination of two graphs together, if I can say that. It's one graph, but two things happened at the same time because of the two inequalities when you separate the problem. Okay, one more example like this. Absolute value of 9m plus 1 less or equal 1. So this is number 1 here. Separate those and write 9m plus 1 lesser equal 1, 9m plus 1 greater or equal negative 1. Okay, so again, keep in mind that you gotta work with the sign and the negative as well. Solve each one of those. Minus 1, 9m less or equal 0. Divide by 9. So m will be less or equal 0. First solution, right here, minus 1, those two cancel. 9m will be greater or equal negative 2. Divide by 9. So m will be greater or equal to negative 2 over 9 will be just negative 2 over 9. So those are small numbers. We will graph it. Well, I will write 0 here and negative 2 over 9 here. Probably. I think that's what we can do. Oops, sorry, I don't see the graph very well. Okay, so next thing we will do is the first one, m is less or equal 0. We have closed circle that goes in this direction. And then we have m, second value for m greater or equal negative 2 over 9. So we have closed circle over here m greater will go in this direction. So with this, my video is concluded. Thank you for watching it, and any questions could be discussed in class.